this is what I'm doing right here. I mentioned about trying to strengthen up the ears on my MindLab coil. I couldn't find plastic washers. Years ago, you used to find those things. But now, what I had to do is make my own. And this here was a top of a lid of a little plastic jar of bungee cords. And I noticed the top of it was pretty sturdy. It wasn't real flexible. So I took that, and then I found another smaller lid, and it was about the right texture too. So actually, I went and got a paper, and I followed my design on my ears and punched where the hole would be, and then drew it on paper, and then I forwarded it onto the plastic, making little razor blade, making little perforation holes, and that I could end up, it's like connected dots. And then once I did that, then I made a solid line, and then I just kept working at it until I cut it out. But what this is going to do, I'll epoxy this side. I kind of roughed it up a little bit. I'll put a little bit of epoxy on this. I'll press it up to the ears on the outside of it. I'm not going on the inside, because that could interfere with actually the shaft coming down. So this is going on the outside of the ears. And then I'm going to use a press to press it. And I'm going to make sure I keep that clean in the middle. And then once that is dried, then I've got a little grinder, a little Dremel tool, and I'm going to lightly hit this. This would be riding right along the edge of the ears on the coil. And that should set that and be rock hard. So I've got my other one that I've already drew out the design, as you can see. There's a little rib in a coil in the molding, and that's why I'm making that little notch, so it'd slide right over it. But it's possible, little things like this that you can put onto your coil to strengthen your ears. I mean, it can save you a big headache. But like I was trying to mention before, trying to find some plastic washers and then put them on and then shape them according to the ears, forget it. Unless you happen to have some at home. If so, I wouldn't mind having a couple. But trying to find them big enough that I can actually shape it. So anyway, this is what I'm beginning, and as I progress through, I'll show you. I'm just sitting here at my desk and just started cutting these out. I want to go detecting tomorrow, so I'm not going to try to do this tonight, but I'll put it on the coil tomorrow when I get back. Okay, guys, we will update. Okay, folks, I think I got it. Got it all done. I think it sat for about 2 hours. I had it all when I had it, and I had it in position just right. Had it clipped. Another one in the front, another one in the back. So I had 3 clips on each holding it in. It done pretty well. The edges looks a little rough, Well, you see this, it's still protruding just a little bit, but I can get my razor knife. I can trim that off a little bit more and make it look a little more prettier. But right now, I'm doing this for strength. I'm gonna get some stuff. Got just a little bit of space running through here that I'm gonna fill in. It won't help me none on strength. If you notice before you do anything on the outside, there's a line, a mold line, right at the bottom of that. And I think that's where everybody's coil ears have been breaking. Putting this on, it's not going to break. This just gives you an idea. There are options. Like I said, I was trying to look for washers. Can't find them. So I made my own. And it's easy to do, you know, when you get the piece of paper and draw it out. It's just when you get down here, try not to exceed any farther. I did. I wanted this to go a little bit further down. But if you notice, it flares out. And it wouldn't give me a good seal on the edge. So I had to go back and trim some of that bottom off. And just enough lip right here to go over that. Did it pretty good. There's still a little bit of protruding edge. That's just a little excess right there. A little piece that didn't get cut off. Where's my razor knife? There it is. Oh, I'll just use a razor blade. But I'll go over these edges just a little bit more. File them down, sand them down just a little bit better. Just to make it look more appealing. But my main thing is for strength. And that just thickened those ears up. And I'm happy. That's what I'm after for. So when I'm out there in the field and I'm swinging, I'm hitting a little bit of tall grass, bouncing to get against some brush, my ears ain't gonna break. Before I put them on, I used to be able to get them and squeeze them just a little bit. Now these babies are rock hard. They ain't going nowhere. Easy. If you got thin ears on a coil, be proactive. Don't react till something happens. Be proactive and prevent it from ever happening. Like I did. Just to show you. You don't want to you don't want to make these too thick, the extra that you put on. Because if you do, let's say if I totally equaled the width of the original, that would have put that side out probably a little bit more like that. And that would have took a little bit more thread. That could have probably, you know, worked. I mean, I can always add on if I feel like I really need to. But I don't think I need to. think this is going to do it really well. I've still got a little bit of that epoxy that has dried and it's hanging. And that's the main thing when you do this. Just make sure you keep those, put a little pressure in and just went around. Went in a little deeper and just try to evenly go around. And what little bit of epoxy did come out between the edges, that took it out enough that I could get my bolt in there. That's all I want. And I had these old washers from the Anderson carbon fiber rod. It's not going to help me too much in here, but I've got one for the other side for the nut, and that just adds. You say it's not going to help here because it falls in that groove. If I had two of them, then that probably would work. But I got one for the other side for the nut, just to keep any kind of wear. But that thickened it up. A lot thicker than they were. Almost look as thick as the AT series. How about that, folks? For just a few dollars, really the expense was in my Gorilla epoxy. That sets pretty fast. I think that's going to work good. So I just want to share that with you. Everybody was talking about their ears breaking off. Like I said, at least this gives you some ideas. Just don't use metal. If you do that, it's going to trigger your coil. Got to use plastic. So once I get the sanding a little bit more perfected, to match the edges of the original ears, that's going to look a lot better. But right now, I can swing tomorrow, and I'm not going to be afraid. So y'all have a blessed day. Joanna says bye. Thank you for watching. Hope it gives you some ideas. Save your coils, folks. Coil lives matter. Yes, they do. And these break, then your hunt just ended. So be proactive. Prevent a situation from happening. Thicken your coil ears. You'll be glad you did.